to Artfrofest, and today we are going to talk to a sculptor. His name is Onyeka, and he's going to introduce himself to you in a few minutes. Hello, Onyeka, how are you? How are
I'm
you?
fine. Good morning.
Good
I'm very
morning.
fine. I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm happy to have you here today. Well, welcome to Artfrofest. First of all, I'd like to ask you to introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Onyeka Iloany. I am a visual artist, a sculptor professionally, and then most times I paint as well.
Okay. So which one is your favorite medium then? Is it painting or is it sculpting?
Sculpture is my favorite medium.
Okay. And then why? Why?
Well, I would say that to every artist, what brought us into art is drawing and painting, right? As a child. Then when we come into art, we now realize that there are still very many aspects of art, very broad. So we begin to see sculpture, textile, graphics, animation. We begin to see very many of them. So along the line, you get to find where your spirit really accept, and then you fall in love with it. So I fall in love with sculpture.
So where do you find your inspiration when sculpting?
I find my inspiration from what is happening around me. In Nigeria here, what is happening around me is enough inspiration. If you at every moment you leave your door, you get 1001 concepts, ranging from the frustrated bike man that is abusing another person, ranging, you see children on the street, you see a lot of things. You know, I used to tell people that Nigeria is a very fertile ground for artists because there are a lot of concept and inspiration that you can work on.
Okay. So then in that case, what motivates you to create? What is the goal of your art? Because I'm sure you must have a reason that you're doing
Pardon?
it. I say, what is the goal of your art? What is the motivation for you to create?
Well, my first motivation to create is God. God is my first motivation to create. Because there are most times you wake up, you don't really feel like doing anything. Reason why you don't feel like doing anything is the thing happening in the environment alone is enough to discourage you. You wake up, there is no light to work with, you have projects to submit, there is no electricity, there are a lot of bills, high rising of things, falling of the currency, a lot of things are happening to discourage. But you still have that inner drive telling you that, come on, you have to create. There are generations to look into your art. There are generations to see what you've done. You need to tell people, you need to record this moment that you are living in. So I feel that it is God that is whispering all those things into my heart, keeping me informed and keeping me uptight to keep on creating. And then aside from that, the next thing that motivates me to create is to record history and to record this time. You understand? I feel like there are people, I know that Nigeria will get better. I know that this country will get better. But we that witness it when it is like this, we need to record it. We need to tell people what happened. We need to tell people how we live. We need to tell people how we survived. You understand? So the environment is another motivation. Then the goal of my art, the dream of my art is this. I wish to see that day where my art will make the front line of every newsprint around the world, around Africa, in every African child, in every African person. You understand? Telling the government, telling the African Union the reason why Africa must come together. Let us build Africa for the Africans. And the only way we can do it is through my art. The only way I can do it is through my art. If I'm a musician, I would have sing a lot of songs. I would have write a lot of songs. If I'm a poet, I would have written a lot of poems talking about African spirit, inspiring African spirit. But since I'm an artist, I have to speak through my own field.
Of course.
You know, I strongly believe that the African nation and the African economy will bounce back. But how do we make it bounce back? We can only make it bounce back by building Africa for the African. Africans have to create what we consume and consume what we produce. You understand?
I totally
Africa
understand.
has to be told who they are, not who the people tell them that they are, not the narratives that we are given by the Westerners. We need to write our own narrative, rewrite it again. We know that it was written by our forefathers, but colonialism and post-colonialism destroy every evidence. But we, the artists, we have to write it again because we know that we have the African spirit in us. You can't tell us that we are a third-class nation or underdeveloped nation when we see all those zeals and all those fire burning inside of us, when we survive in almost every continent we find ourselves, where we become the top-notch people in every field we find ourselves outside the African continent. So what is the problem? The problem is human resources. The problem is human management, the government we have, because when we go outside the shores of Africa, we excel above the altitude of life. But in the African shores, it looks as if that we don't know what we are doing. No, it is human management. So the only way we talk about it is through our art, is through my art. Thank you.
I really love what you just said. It's very inspiring and it's very strong. And you are totally right. It is important to record history because what is happening today is going to be history for tomorrow. And that is one of the problems that we have Africans, that we don't archive or record things in a physical manner. We tend to tell stories, we keep it word of mouth, and that's a problem because it doesn't work in the long run. So I totally agree with what you just said. And so that means the goal of your art is very powerful. Basically, it's very statementy. And I'd really like, I don't know if you have one of your pieces in your office, or if you don't, maybe we can talk about the last one you posted. You could tell us how, you can tell us the concept behind it, and then tell us how you're actually fighting for this Africa through this art.
Well, I'm currently working on a piece right now. It's almost done, like 95% ready. That's my favorite piece. The title is Japa. The title is Japa. Japa is a Nigerian English. It's a Nigerian English. So Japa means flee at all costs. Flee at all costs. At a point when someone is trying to escape, when someone is trying to run away, maybe running away from your home to somewhere you hope will be better. That is the title of the work. The work is all about a young Nigerian boy that traveled to Europe. Inside his skull, you will see the skyscrapers, you will see all the streets of Europe inside his skull. The city will be painted with pure gold. This is the assumption that every Nigerian boy have, that Europe is a city of gold where you pick gold on the street, but it's not true.
You're breaking up a little.
And because of this misinformation, a lot of young Africans, especially Nigerians, when they get to Europe illegally, they got stranded. You said?
No, I was saying that you're breaking up a little bit.
So
I'm not
a lot of these people, when they get to Europe, they get stranded. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I said a lot of these Nigerian youth, when they get to Europe at all costs, because you see people selling off their businesses. You see people selling off their landed property. You see people borrowing money at all costs. Wow. Telling the people that they borrowed the money from, just give me like 2 months. When I get to Europe, I will pay you back. How are you going to do it? A place you don't know. You borrow money and you expect to pay in 2 months. So this is all misinformation. So the work is trying to capture all those misinformation youths. The average Nigerian youth is not that you don't go to Europe. You go to Europe, it's good to travel. But before you travel, get enough information. Your inception that Nigerians are not migrating to Europe or America. Nigerians are escaping to Europe and America. We are escaping. An American can migrate to Europe, but a Nigerian guy is escaping because he's living under a harsh environment, under a harsh weather. You have business, there is no enabling environment to support your business. There is no basic facility of life to support you. So how then do you thrive in such an environment? So the best thing is to escape. So the work is like telling every Nigerian person speaking to our government, are you not aware that you are losing almost 90% of your youth on daily basis?
Sorry, can I
on
ask you to
migration?
repeat, because your
Are you
line is
not
breaking
aware
up.
that you are losing the potentials? Are you not aware that you are losing the capacity that's supposed to build your nation? Oh, I don't know.
Onyeka, can you hear me?
That's part of the thing we are saying. No constant network.
Yeah, I understand. No constant network.
I can hear you
understand.
perfectly.
Maybe can you move your?
Hello, can you hear
Can you
me?
hear me now? Now I can see you again.
I can hear you.
Sorry. So because we lost you a little when you were explaining that basically the idea is for the youth to understand that, no, you were saying that it's for the government to understand that they are losing part of their youth, like 90% of their youth is going abroad because they're going to greener pastures. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
That's a very big problem. I don't know, because the funny thing is that here it's not better actually. On the contrary, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of restrictions, there's a lot of things.
You see, we get to understand, like from the work, when you see the work I'm creating now, you will see it in the eyes of the chief character I used to represent the Nigerian youth. His face is mean, he's angry, he's angry, you understand? So showing that reality has dawned on him, that it is not what he expected, you understand? Yeah. So, but before then, we have a lot of people who are angry with our nation because our nation has not really served them. Somebody like me, I'm a graduate, finished my master's degree, have my PM and do my PhD currently, but I don't have a very wonderful studio. I don't have a good studio where I work. I work from my house. The studio I had, government had to evacuate every artist from the arts community. Okay. And they did not make any provision. So you have potentials who wants to do a lot of things for themselves. Okay, government, you don't want to give me job, forget about your job. I will create job for myself. And then you still make the system and environment very hard for that person to thrive. Yeah. So this is all I want to depict in my work. But most especially to tell the Nigerian government, you are losing the manpower. You are losing your population. You are losing your capacity to develop your nation on migration on a daily basis.
Well, this is a very strong message you are sending out. Thank you for sharing the concept behind this, your latest piece. I'm looking forward to see it. I've not seen it yet, but you'll definitely send us a visual piece of it.
I will.
I have more questions for you. So, well, obviously you told us what you were working on at the moment, but how do you stay connected with how do you stay up to date with what's going on in the art industry?
Man, all thanks to social media in its own way. And then I equally say thanks to good artist friends around me. So because we know that we don't have good environment like that we can easily skate through. So what we do here is we visit each other as artists. We do a lot of studio visits. We have a lot of art groups here, art movements, which I got myself involved into. You understand? So what I do is this: I visit my friends in their studio. We talk about their accomplishments, their new discovery. One of those days you can go to the studio and your friend is telling you, do you know that Instagram has changed its algorithm? this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do, so that you get more followers, so that you get more audience on Instagram. So by so doing, you stay up to date. You understand? Then one of my friend, Kolakbo, he produces his own colors. So he will tell me, man, this is what I discovered. I should be adding little of this to get my own pure white, undiluted pure white and stuff like that. So in order to stay up to date, I visit artist friends. I visit them in their studio. We talk a lot. We share experience. We share all our problems together, and we share our accomplishments. You know, it's not always all about problem. We have a lot of accomplishments that will blow your mind, that you will ask yourself, these guys in this kind of environment, are they able to make this kind of accomplishments? Yes, we have a lot of accomplishments, a lot of solo exhibitions, a lot of group exhibitions, most times a lot of wonderful sales. And then when we talk about wonderful sales, we meet a lot of our clients on Instagrams, and then we check online, and a lot of appreciation, even within Nigeria, even within our immediate environment here in Nigeria, we still have a lot of appreciation. So to stay up to date, I visit friends who are artists, and then I stay up to date on Instagram and social media.
Okay, that's an excellent way. Actually, now that we have the social media, it makes things a bit easier, to be honest. So, but it's good also to have face to face, like you said. It's always good to have human contact as well. So it's a good balance. And I forgot to ask you, how do you know when you work, like when you're working on a piece and when it's finished to you? When do you decide that the piece is finished?
You know, the truth here is this: an artwork is never finished.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
An artwork is never finished. You can only abandon it, but when you are working on a piece, like for me, if I'm working on a piece now, there is that climax that I will get to. I will hear that voice. It's like me talking to myself inside me, telling me it is okay. Don't overwork it. Don't let it get too busy. You understand? That you in you is telling you now, okay, it's getting too busy because of the message you are passing. The details you are putting is getting too busy, is overshadowing the message. It's not that the work is finished. If I allow it get over busy, it passes another message. It becomes another concept. So, but because of the spirit of self-control inside of me, I don't want to pass another message. I want to stick to what I want to say. You understand? Then I listen to that voice, then I sign it. But left alone, an artwork is never finished. You can only abandon it.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. I like your explanation. It does make a lot of sense. And I was going to ask you, out of all your babies that you created, which one is your best one? Which one is your favorite one? Which one is your favorite child?
That is Jackba. It's Jackba is Jackba. You know why I love Jackba so much? That is free at all costs. Is it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I see Nigerians and Nigerian image on the internet caught, maybe Nigerian youth caught with heroin, cocaine, and stuff like that. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I see Nigerian in refugee camps abroad in Europe. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I see pictures of Nigerians stranded on the streets of Europe. It breaks my heart. In European prisons, it breaks my heart. You know, it breaks my heart so well. Like, it makes me feel like how I wish I can wave a placard on the atmosphere and we have a better system in this nation. I just wish I can do it. But it doesn't work that way. It's putting system and structures in places. So the cry of Nigerian youths on the streets of Europe, the cry of Nigerian youths in American prison, in Asian prison, in France prison, in anywhere in the world, the cry of those youths in those places, like, takes sleeps away from my eyes, it takes rest away from me, takes peace away from me. So the only way I can put it down is record it through my art. So that's why I'm doing Japa. And I so much wish that the world will get to, the African Union, the Nigerian government will get to see this work that I'm doing, or I will have the opportunity to explain it in an exhibition with so much audience. Because when you go to exhibition, you have a lot of people listening to you. You don't know who is listening to you. And then I so much wish that a lot of writers will start writing about it. I know that people are doing a lot of things about it already, but my most favorite piece is Japa, because it is the current situation that we are living right now. Thank you very much.
It makes total sense. It makes total sense. And it's a very powerful message, like you said earlier, that you are sending with this Jagba. And I'm definitely looking forward to see it. I want to ask you, which artist influenced your work?
Well, like as I told you, down here, we have a lot of amazing stuff down here, even in the harsh environment. So the artist that influences me so much is Dotun Popola. Dotun Popola. In fact, in my master's degree thesis, I wrote about him. He started the hybrid sculpture, and his works are so amazing, like so amazing. He's a Nigerian artist. And then Steve Ekpenisi. Steve Ekpenisi is another wonderful guy. Then there is this guy I met on Instagram, although I don't know him one-on-one, but I follow him. That is John Lopez. John Lopez. I follow him, and his works are amazing. So when I look at what these guys are doing, like, it inspires me. It makes me to see that there are still many mountains to conquer. How they travel the world, how they tour the world, how their work speaks volume. In fact, you can't take this away from me. I always admire their studio.
Yes.
They are large expanse of studio. I tell myself that one day I'm going to own a studio like this. So these three guys, they've done a lot of positive impact in my work. Thank you.
Okay. And then how would you say your sculpting technique has evolved with time?
For my sculpting techniques, it has evolved, but I still stick to expressionism. Although when I started with, one thing with art is this: you work by the rule.
Yes.
Then when you become a master, then you can break the boss, you can go outside the boss, you can do whatever you want. That makes you a master. So when I started working with basic human anatomy, what they taught us to do, realism, and then naturalism and stuff like that. But being a master right now, I create my own rules. I do whatever I want. So I stick with expressionism. You understand? I emphasize the area I want to emphasize. I disfigure, or not disfigure, but I create less emphasis on the area I don't want people to see. I use my choice of colors. I use my choice of materials. I represent my ideas the way I feel. I think it is okay for me. So expressionism has been working for me, and that is where I am right now.
Okay. So how do you ensure you continue to grow as an artist? What do you do to continue to, fill your mind and grow as an artist?
What I do is this. Like my life has been in a circle before. It was in a circle before, like, let's say, pyramidal life. Just wake up in the morning, enter the studio. If it is the day I will go to church, I go to church, I come back, I enter the studio, just like that. But of recent, what I started doing is I woke up in the morning, after my morning devotion, I go to the gym. I go to the gym, I meet friends, I meet people, I exercise, I do a lot of cardiovascular exercises that makes me to free my mind and then have a free space to think. Then after which, when I come back, freshen up, then I enter the studio. So by so doing, it helps me to create balance, and then helps me to create a strong creative prowess when I enter the studio.
That makes sense, because you always have. I was going to ask you, how do you balance life and an artist and being an artist and day-to-day life? But this is how you find your balance, basically, by going to the gym.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good way. That's a good way. And have you ever had a creative block? And if you had, how did you come out of it?
Creative block.
Has it ever happened
Yeah.
to you?
Is it?
Has it ever happened to you?
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It happens. It happens, you know. We have creative blogs. It happens. Nobody will say, like, as I said to you, staying in Nigeria is a whole lot of thing, you understand? But to me, I count it all as a learning process.
Mm-hmm.
I count it all as a learning process. When it happens, find my way to clear my mind of it, and then continues, because I believe that there is a lot of things to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have creative block, the simple thing I do is to find a way to clear my mind.
Mm. Okay.
Find a way to clear my mind. That's
Yeah,
all.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, I think that's the best way, is just to release the pressure. That, I guess, that's the only way to unblock the mind.
Yeah.
So that's one of the best ways. And did you say you have an exhibition coming up soon? Do you have any exhibition coming up?
Yeah, I'm working currently on my solo exhibition.
Yes.
Currently, I'm working on my solo exhibition. It's supposed to happen this September.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to happen this September,
Yeah.
but for some health reasons, we have to postpone it. We
Oh,
have to postpone it. So I'm currently working on my solo exhibition.
okay. And will it be in Nigeria? Where will the exhibition be?
For this edition of the exhibition, is going to be in Nigeria. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be in Nigeria. Yes.
Where? Lagos, Abuja, where?
It's in Abuja.
Abuja. Okay. Okay. Well, we shall keep posted to see when the exhibition is, so that we probably be able to have a look at it, because I'm very, very curious about that. And then, so how do you prepare for an exhibition like this? How do you prepare for your solos?
Well, I started preparing for this exhibition since last year.
Yes.
Since last year, I started working on it since last year. Because there is a piece I did, which is titled Africa, Who We Are. It took me 8 months to finish it.
Yeah, I
It
can
took me
imagine.
8 months to finish it. And that was when I knew that I was going to have an exhibition, a solo exhibition, because when I finished the piece, I used knots and then some other scraps of metal. So arranging them together and stuff like that, it took a lot of time. So when I want to as I'm preparing for the exhibition, what I do first is to gather the message I want to pass. Like for this present exhibition now, I'm talking about the Nigerian spirit and Pan-Africanism.
Yes.
So I started working on it, started sketching down concepts, started writing down a lot of things, the inspiration behind it. And then when I knew that, or when I'm sure that the concept and the inspiration behind it, everything is ready, then I start talking to people. I start talking to friends. This is what I want to do. What do you think about it? So it was one of the friends that I talked to that linked me to the person who said, okay, you know what will happen? Just prepare your works. I will seek that the exhibition, I will help you to organize the exhibition.
Okay.
So that is the stage at which we are now. So these are the processes I pass through in preparing for exhibition. Mine is to get the work ready, talk to people about it, and then the audience will be there. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes that. I mean, that's perfect. So, I mean, how do you decide which gallery or which curator you want to work with?
That's okay. That's a whole lot of choice. You
Yeah.
know, it's not easy because of human nature. Because of human nature. So what I do is this: when I approach a gallery or a curator approach me, telling me, okay, wow, I have an interest in you. I would like to represent you. I want to work with you. So the first thing I do is this: as we are talking, I'm listening to you. I do a lot of listening. I do few talking. I just listen. So as you're talking, okay. Then the next thing I do is this: if I have the privilege, I will look for other artists that the curator has represented or the gallery has represented, then I will ask them of their experience.
Of course.
It is not that when they tell me that, okay, this curator is not good, don't go there, this curator is bad or this, then I will put a red tag or cancel it. No. I will now compare it with what my spirit man was telling me during the time I was discussing with the curator. So I will now compare the two. Okay, this, that. If I'm still not yet satisfied, if I have the opportunity again to see their vision statement and their mission statements,
yes,
you know, all these things are the things I put into consideration before approving or before agreeing to work with a curator or with a gallery. You know, believe me, we've have a couple of people that you work with, the way they handle you, the way they represent you is what you don't like. Yeah. You understand? So is a whole lot of concern, is a whole lot of things to put into consideration before approving a gallery or a curator to represent you or me. Thank you very much.
It makes sense. And my last question is, what advice would you give your younger self?
I say it to myself every day. I say, boy, keep on pushing. Boy, the government is not going to break you down.
Yeah.
Keep on pushing. There is light at the end of that tunnel. Very soon, very, very soon, the world is going to hear about me. Yeah. And the Nigerian government, they are going to print my work on every newsprint in the Nigerian newsprint and then in the whole of African nation. You know, I tell my younger self, time will come. You will stand in UN talking about your art. Time will come. You will stand in OAU talking about your art. Time will come. You will host a massive Larry talking about your art. So that's what I tell my younger self.
Thank you very much for all this, Onyeka. This was very inspiring, and I'm really looking forward to see your exhibition. I'll keep in touch. I'll look at your page, and any support that I can give, I will. But honestly, keep pushing. You are on the right path. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. I don't take it for granted.
You are very welcome. You are very welcome.